this is our game. This is the game we just made. We can hit our enemies and bam, we have killed them all. This is the game. Okay, so before you start, make sure that you have the latest Unity installed. Make sure that you also have Visual Studio installed. If you have a mouse, that makes things much easier. It may take you a little bit longer to actually make the game as you're following along with the video. Other than that, I hope you guys have fun with this. Hey, what's up everyone? It's AlejandroBoss right here. I'm going to show you how to make a game in 10 minutes. So what we got to do first is we got to open up Unity Hub. Alright, once it's opened up, you go new. A little window pops up. You hit 2D. Just name this first game. This is your location. You can have it wherever you want. This is where I have it. You can just hit create. And you give it a second to actually start making the whole project. You get this screen and then it starts doing its thing. Okay, so once it's loaded up, you'll get a screen that looks something like this. I personally don't like this layout, so I'm gonna go up here to default, and then I'll go to 2x3. That's what I like to do, because then I have my scene window and my game window. So you may have these errors down here, and that's fine. Just click them, this little thing comes up, and hit clear. Then just click the X. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we're going to create some new folders. So on this project window right here, I'm going to dock it down here. This project window, right click on assets, create, and then folder. We're going to name this art. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to make another folder named scripts. Alright, now I like to make this. Alright, so now we're going to go to our scene folder, double click that. There's a sample scene in here, we don't need it, it's fine. Right click in the empty space and then go down to scene. Call this test, call this level 1. Hit and double click it. Alright, now we're on the level 1 scene. So once you are on pixel art, we're going to be making 3 different images: a player image, a weapon image, and an enemy image. So I'm just going to start off with the basic player. Finish with that, go to download, keep all these settings how they currently are, then just hit download. Your image is going to download, then you open it up. Wherever you have it saved, you're going to drag it into Unity, into the art folder, like so. Then when you click the art folder, here's your image. There it is right there. Okay, so these were the images that I made. This is my player, my weapon, and my enemy. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to drag our player into our hierarchy. So there's our player in the scene. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger, so just 2, 2, and 2. He's a little bit bigger now. Then I'm going to drag my weapon onto my player so that it's highlighted like that. And then I'm going to zoom in with the scroll wheel. Then I'm going to hit W, and these arrows allow me to move it. And this square right here allows me to move it like so. So once I get in a position that I like, I'm going to hit E to rotate it. I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to hit W again because I don't like how it looks. And bam, that's good. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, just because. And there. Alright, so now we click on our player. We make order and layer, we'll just have that at 2. That's fine. Then we are going to add, we're going to click on our weapon, add component, box collider 2D. If that doesn't show up, just type in box collider and it'll show up. And you just click it. You get this. So what we're going to want to do is going to make this is trigger. Make sure that's checked. And this little green box that appeared just means that's the whole collider. So anything that comes in there is what it's going to be colliding with. Okay, so now we're going to make our scripts. One of our scripts. So we're going to hit our scripts folder, right click, create, C#. We're going to name this attack. Okay, and then you double click this, and I'm using Visual Studios, so that's what pops up for me. So I really don't like having this stuff right here, so I'm just going to delete all of this, backspace, backspace, and then enter. So then I'm going to type void on trigger enter 2D, get all of this. Then I already have this in another script, so I'm just going to paste it in. We're going to have this. Make sure to save this. I use Control S. Then you go back to Unity. Oh, something I forgot to do was click on this thing right here that's just free aspect, and then go to 16:9, because most monitors are 16:9. Alright, so now we're going to create another script, so you can just right click, create C#, call this player movement. Okay, same thing we just did. I'm going to delete all of this. Now, the script that I have for player movement is actually really long, because I had it from another project, so just bear with me and just go ahead and copy and paste it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna paste what I have for my other script, which is over like 80 lines of code. Totally unnecessary, but I like to keep it. And then just save that. Okay, so we're gonna make one more script, and this script is gonna be so our enemies can follow us. So right click C#, enemy movement, and then you can hit enter if it's highlighted. That way it just goes automatically. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so same thing. Now the script is a much shorter, but I really don't feel like typing it, so just Control V, and there you go. Save this. Go back to Unity. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to R, get our enemy, and just drag him in here. You can zoom out with the scroll wheel, and you can pan by holding the scroll wheel down, like so. Now I'm just gonna move him around. I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger, so 2x2. Right, that seems good for me. Now I'm going to go here, add the box collider again. That's fine. Then we're going to add a rigid body 2D. Now what this does, it allows it to have physics basically. Keep the mass the same, everything the same, except for gravity. Gravity, put it at 0. And then after that, we are going to go here and add tag. We're going to click this little plus. We're going to name this enemy. We're going to hit save. We're going to click on our enemy again. We're going to hit the tag, and enemy is now here. We do that. We click on our player, click tag, and then player. So now we don't have, if we hit play right here, this is the play button, nothing happens, absolutely nothing, because we haven't attached any scripts. So what we're going to do is go click on our player, and then script, grab the player movement, drag it onto this window over here. We're going to set the movement to 5. Then looking right, my player is looking right, so I'm going to leave that checked. Then this weapon game object right here, we're going to grab it by clicking this, and then dragging our weapon game object into here. So if we hit play right now, nothing's going to happen. So we have to add a rigid body. The reason we add a rigid body is because our script calls for physics, and without the physics component, it won't work. So we just change the gravity scale to 0, leave it like that, and our player is done. So now we click weapon, and then the attack script, just drag it on here, and it's going to work automatically. So if we hit play, oh wait, now our enemy, we drag the enemy movement onto him. And if you get this problem right here where you can't drag it on, that's fine. You can also add it this way by add component and then just type in enemy movement. And there you go. We're going to put its speed at 2. And what the enemy is going to do is it's going to follow the player. So we're going to go on our weapon again. Check this little thing to deactivate it from the scene. And now we just hit play. And there we go. We can move around with the WASD keys. Our enemy follows us. And now if we hit the left mouse button, our weapon should pop up. There it is. If you hold it down, it just stays there. Now we're gonna attack this guy. And he's dead. Now, if I were you, I would add more enemies. just to make it more challenging. This is what I like to do. Oh, the way I did this is by clicking it and then Control D or Command D on the Mac. So now we have a whole bunch of enemies and one little guy. We hit play and we can just walk around killing a whole bunch of enemies. And that's technically a game, although it's not very, it's not the next GTA 5 or something, but it is still a game. If I were you, I would go back and onto Pixel and then just make some backgrounds and maybe add some animations for your enemies, some bushes back here. You can make it top down if you like. It's entirely up to you. But other than that, this is pretty much the game that we will be making, and it's not the best, but it's not the worst thing out there. Alright, so if we want to be able to play our game like from our desktop or something instead of Unity, what we have to do is we have to build it. So we go to File, Build Settings. Right here in Scenes and Build, we need to add our scene. So go to the Scenes folder, get the level 1, and drag it in there. Drag it to the very top up here. That way it's the first thing that we run into. So then we just hit Build. We select our folder. We're gonna make a new folder, so hit Control Shift N, name this Game Files, and then select folder. Our game starts building, and this usually takes about a minute or two depending on the size of your project. Alright, so now the game has just built, so we get a bunch of files right here. But this one is the most important one because it's the actual game. So if we double click it, see, this is our game. This is the game we just made. We can hit our enemies and bam, we have killed them all. This is the game.